Hello, thanks for joining us today. My name is Simone and I am the outreach specialist here at ANEW. I'll be going through about a 20-minute presentation that should answer most, if not all, of your questions about our programs. If anything comes up after you've watched this, my contact information will be on the last slide of the slideshow, and you should be able to shoot me an email. All right, well, first, a little bit about ANEW's history. ANEW was founded in 1980. Our original mission that's still supported today is to place women, people of color, and other underrepresented populations into the construction trade apprenticeships. So between our two main training locations, we graduate between 150 and 200 students each year, and we now offer all gender classes and some specific classes for women and those who identify as. We're continuing to work on obtaining funding so that we can expand our classes to Pierce County and Snohomish County as well. So for those of you who may not be familiar with the differences between a pre-apprenticeship and an apprenticeship, let's take a few minutes to go over the main differences. So a pre-apprenticeship, which is what ANEW offers, is a free, short-term, unpaid training, so again, at no cost to you, that gives you knowledge about all of the construction trades. You'll gain certifications and experience in the areas that you would need in order to become a successful apprentice. The goal of our pre-apprenticeship program is to get you placed in a paid apprenticeship starting at a wage between $20 to $30 per hour by the end of the 11-week program. An apprenticeship is a paid job. We call it Earn While You Learn. Anyone who's 18 or above can apply to be an apprentice in any of the trades. Your experience in going through our pre-apprenticeship program will set you apart and increase the likelihood of you landing a job over other applicants. So apprenticeships are going to be looking for people that have a combination of hands-on skills, certifications, and general knowledge about construction, and they last anywhere from 2 to 5 years, depending on which trade you choose to go into, but just keep in mind that you'll always be getting paid during that time. So a little bit about apprenticeship wages. This slide is just showing all of the starting wage of apprenticeships, in the city of Seattle. Keep in mind that this is what apprentices are going to start making on their very first day on the job, and your wage will only go up from there. So, what do you become after you have completed your hours as an apprentice? This slide is going to show you the progression of someone starting out and moving up through a career in construction. Pre-apprenticeship is only the first step in that you'll have, and once you journey out, you'll be making $40+ an hour, and there's plenty of room for upward mobility. You could become a foreman, a superintendent. We even have folks who have graduated from ANEW that have become business owners. So here's an overview of ANEW's pre-apprenticeship programs. These are the continuously running 11-week programs that we're currently enrolling for. TRP, our Trades Rotation Program, is our South Training Center. Pre-Apprenticeship Construction Education, our PACE Training Center, is in North Seattle. Both of these are identical curriculums. They're each 11 weeks long, 3 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Be advised that your first week is going to be Monday through Friday, and class hours for both locations are 6:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. TRP is our location for women and those who identify as. PACE is our location for all genders. So this map shows our locations. It's going to give you an idea of where our training centers and our main office are located. So in North Seattle, which is the star at the top, our training center is located about 10 minutes east of Lake City in Magnuson Park. That's near UW. Our South Training Center is in Kent. That's located off Highway 167, just around the corner from the ShoWare Center. And our main office is where our staff is located. That's that middle star is in Renton. And you likely won't be coming here during your pre-apprenticeship class, but you will be visiting us there down the road. So a little bit about what to expect in our pre-apprenticeship programs. Our start time is going to be promptly 6:30 a.m. One of the first things that we like to stress to our students is being early and coming in prepared. You're going to want to arrive at least 15 to 30 minutes before the start time of class to get ready for your day. There's a strong emphasis on fitness and nutrition. Because physical fitness is a really important part of working in construction, our program is going to help you to build both physical and mental strength. So of course you don't need to come into the program being in the best shape of your life. You're going to be receiving training along the way to help bolster your skills, and you've just got to be able to lift a minimum of 40 pounds to participate in our tryouts, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. So we're going to be practicing safety and good form and all that we do to make sure that you are safe when you get onto your work site. The type of workouts that we do to help get you ready for working on a job site include but are not limited to lifting cinder blocks, shoveling gravel, and pushing a wheelbarrow with sandbags in it. We do emphasize nutrition as well. We work with local food banks. They donate healthy snacks to our training facilities. We just ask that you bring a refillable water bottle so that you can stay hydrated throughout the day, because as we said, the physical fitness portion is a big component of what we do here at ANEW. We focus on trades math as well. So we do have a math instructor that works with each class to kind of help you brush up on your math skills. It's not necessarily the math that you would have been learning in school. This math is going to teach, or that we're going to teach you, will help you bolster your skills that you would be using every day on a job site. So examples of that would be learning how to read a tape measure by adding and subtracting simple fractions, or measuring angles when you're cutting wood or sheet metal. We do understand that everyone comes out into the program at a different level of their math skills, so we're going to work with you to make sure that your math skills improve prior to you beginning your apprenticeship. And then we also focus on professional development. So we're going to provide you with plenty of opportunities for you to improve your networking and interviewing skills. That's going to help prepare you to interview for your apprenticeship. We do 2 rounds of mock interviews. That's going to allow you to practice answering some of the types of questions that you would be asked in an apprenticeship job interview. And in the second round, we're going to be inviting contractors and apprenticeship coordinators, and they hire apprentices to come in and help, so that it gives you some real experience. And they're going to provide you with feedback on your interviewing skills so that you can practice and be prepared when the time comes. So a little bit about what we expect from you. Punctuality is super important. This is what they want to see on a job site. So again, we're going to start, or the start time of our class is going to be 6:30 a.m. You're going to need to be ready to go at 6:30 a.m., arriving like at least 15 to 30 minutes prior. If for any reason you know you're not going to be able to make it, we understand that things come up and life happens. We just ask that even if you're just running late, that you inform your program instructor and let them know as early as possible. You won't want to just show up late or not at all. We really want you to treat this like a job, because that's what we're preparing you for. So during the 11-week training, you cannot miss more than 3 days of class. Because we do so much learning in such a condensed amount of time, it's really imperative that you're present as often as possible. And any days that you can't make it need to be improved by your instructor as excused absences. Perseverance and commitment are really important to the culture of the trades. So we do ask that you show up with a positive attitude, show respect to your classmates and your instructors. We're going to be working with really diverse groups of people, and work towards your own success. You know, what you put into this program is really what you're going to get out of it. We will be by your side to help walk you through the process of applying for an apprenticeship, but ultimately you're still going to be responsible for applying for positions and going after what it is that you want. You will be responsible for some homework outside of class, not too much, which is usually about 4 hours a week. And this is going to include a little bit of math homework, working on your resume, and applying to apprenticeships themselves. There is one evening commitment that we hold from 5 to 7 p.m. during the 11 weeks. This is our speed mentorship event, where we will bring in alumni who have graduated from ANEW to help mentor you and kind of give you advice on entering an apprenticeship. We do ask each of our students to complete 8 community service hours in order to graduate. This could be volunteering for an organization that you already support. However, we do understand that with social distancing measures, some organizations and nonprofits aren't taking volunteers right now, but there's no need to worry about that. We will give you plenty of opportunities to earn those hours. ANEW has been coming up with creative ways to make sure that this gets done. And lastly, work ethic. Again, super important part of the culture of the trades. You're going to need to be prepared every day with your PPE. PPE is personal protective equipment. We do supply each student with a hard hat, a safety vest, safety glasses, and gloves. You'll just need to remember to bring those with you every day. And finally, just show up ready to work. have a positive attitude, and be ready to hustle, because it is an intense career pathway. So this is a list of requirements that must be met in order to go through our pre-apprenticeship programs. These requirements closely match the requirements to get into a paid apprenticeship or job. So you must be able to pass a drug test. You will be given a urinary analysis during our tryouts that you must pass in order to enroll in the class. If you don't pass the drug test, it's fine. You'll just be asked to come back to the next cohort when you're ready. So our drug test does test for marijuana, to be clear. We do understand that it's legal in the state of Washington, but the reason that we test for this is because it's a requirement of most apprenticeships, if not all, that you be able to pass the UA in order to get a job on a site. And because there are hazards with heavy equipment, power tools, and people's lives, millions of dollars in the mix, the utilization of drugs is just not conducive to the trades. So we want to set you up for success. We would really hate for you to spend 11 weeks working your butt off in the program to ultimately miss out on getting a job because you can't pass a drug test. You've got to be at least 18 years old. Please note that we do accept 17-year-olds that'll be turning 18 in the near future. You've got to be legal to work in the U.S. You must have the ability to obtain your GED or high school diploma by the end of the 11-week program. And ANEW does have partner resources that we can connect you with if you don't have either of these things. And you also must have a valid Washington State driver's license or have the ability to get your driver's license by the end of the program. And one of the great benefits of working with ANEW is that we work with relicensing agency that can assist you with any like suspensions, unpaid tickets, or some other issues that you may be experiencing around licensing. You've got to be able to perform physically demanding work. This kind of goes back to the very physical nature of a job in construction, and this is part of the reason why we're going to be working during the 11 weeks to make you stronger. We want everyone to be safe, again, using proper form and lifting materials so that you're not ever ending up injured on a job site. And finally, you have to be present for our tryout day, which we will talk about a little bit in our next slide. Okay, tryout day. So ANEW hosts a tryout day for each of our class cohorts. I will be showing, we don't have the dates solidified for our upcoming cohort. They will be updated on our site as soon as we have them, so kind of keep coming back and checking for those. Tryouts are broken down into two parts. So the first section of the tryout is going to be conducting the drug test and interviews. During that interview, you're going to meet with one of our support service staff members, and they're going to ask you some questions about your commitment level to the program, what your specific goals are, and whether or not you have any barriers that might present you or prevent you from completing our program and graduating. And then they will determine your eligibility for support service to mitigate any of those barriers during that time. After the interviews and drug testing, we'll break into groups to complete the physical stations. Each station runs for 10 minutes. Examples of the stations are as follows. Carrying plywood, carrying rebar on your shoulder, cinder blocks, pushing a wheelbarrow with sandbags in it, shoveling gravel, moving bricks. So you'll be observed and scored during all of these stations, lifting again a minimum of 40 pounds. And as you're evaluated, we're going to be looking for the following few things: whether or not you're following directions, whether or not you've got a positive attitude, and whether or not you're trying your best. Again, you don't have to be the fastest or strongest person out there at this point. That's not what we're evaluating for. We just need to make sure that you can complete each of the tasks without any major health or medical concerns. And the following is a video that's going to give you a clearer idea of what to expect during tryout day. All right, and I'd like to make note that there are quite a few people in this image, but we have implemented social distancing measures. So, in order to be mindful of everyone's safety, you won't ever be in a room with this many people at the same time. And we are taking a specific number of folks. We've had to limit the number of people that we can accept to each cohort so that we can continue to practice these social distancing measures. So I'd just like to mention that as well. All right. So a little bit about what else you'll learn and do during your time with ANEW. So during your 11 weeks, you will take a few field trips. We do spend a good amount of time visiting job sites and going on apprenticeship tours. So you'll visit 2 to 3 job sites over your 11 weeks. That's going to kind of allow you as the student to see and experience what it would be like working on a job site. At the site, you're going to encounter a lot of different trades that are working together to complete the job. And that'll give you the opportunity to meet and speak with various tradespersons who can answer any questions that you may have about their specific disciplines. So we visit 8 to 9 apprenticeship halls. There you will learn more specifics about each construction trade and what it is that they do. The apprenticeships that we typically visit include the laborers, cement masons, painters, carpenters, sheet metal, plumbers and pipe fitters, operating engineers, and electricians. However, we do have connections with many other different types of apprenticeships in the area as well. And we also work with both union and non-union apprenticeships, and it'll just be up to you as the student to determine whether or not you will choose a union or non-union apprenticeship. You're also going to earn some industry certifications that are going to help bolster your resume. You won't have to pay for these, which is awesome because typically you would outside of the program. So those certifications are going to include OSHA 10, which is like safety, flagging, and forklift. And you'll gain construction skills in general. You'll learn different methods of measuring as well as using power tools and hand tools. And you will have access to our support services as well. So this kind of goes back to that assessment that you're going to take during your tryout day. Once you enroll, you'll be asked a series of questions about your past income, whether or not you've got children, things of that nature. And we're just asking those questions in order to determine your eligibility to receive support services from us. And those services would include, but are not limited to, maybe a gas card or an ORCA card, possibly assistance with buying like work boots or other PPE. Again, that's personal protective equipment. The bottom line is we want to help support you and make sure that everyone has everything they need so that we have the opportunity to come through the program and be successfully placed into a family wage career. So here is a training curriculum breakdown. This slide just goes over the number of hours that are spent in each area of study that we reviewed today, with the majority of the time being spent on exploring construction careers. So I'll just give you a few moments to look over this slide. All right, so when you graduate from ANEW, what do you have? First, you will have earned a pre-apprenticeship completion certificate. We are a state registered pre-apprenticeship program, and we are the longest running pre-apprenticeship in the country. You'll have what's called preferred or direct entry into a paid apprenticeship. When you visit the apprenticeship halls, they're going to kind of walk you through the process and let you know if they're accepting applications at that time. And if they are, you're going to hold preference for job placement over someone who hasn't gone through a pre-apprenticeship. You'll have knowledge of all the different construction trades and how the application process works for apprentices in each of the trades. And finally, the most important benefit is that you're going to be meeting people who are actively hiring straight out of our program. So many contractors and apprenticeships come and visit our classes, and they'll end up hiring students before the 11 weeks is even complete, which is great. We would love for that to happen. Otherwise, a lot of conversations to get students hired happened right before or during your graduation. All right, so Apprenticeship Opportunities Project, or AOP for short. So after you graduate, we don't just say, hey, peace out, good luck. We're gonna work with you for up to 2 years to make sure that you are successful in your apprenticeship. Because you worked so hard over the 11 weeks, we wanna make sure that you are able to afford the job that you worked your butt off to get. So we have a department here at ANEW called AOP that provides financial assistance to apprentices who are just starting out in their careers. Again, this is based on income eligibility. We may be able to help you fund things like union dues, buying tools or materials that you need for your apprenticeship, or maybe something as simple as a gas card or a bus pass to get you to and from your job site every day. You're going to learn more about setting up an appointment for this in the final weeks of your pre-apprenticeship program. And please be advised that if you move out of the area, this assistance is offered statewide for all construction apprentices, even if you didn't come through our pre-apprenticeship program. Passport to Apprenticeship is another support service program that is offered here at ANEW. The parameters around it are a bit more specific. It is support for people who are ages 13 to 26 who are currently or have experienced homelessness in the past or foster care. Again, this is a conversation that you can have with our support service program managers, and they will help you determine your eligibility for any additional support. All right, this slide is just letting people know that as we moved into phase 1, June 1st, Governor Inslee has deemed ANEW an essential workforce development program. So we were given the go to start up our cohort classes again. However, we do have new safety protocols in place. These include, but are not limited to, each person having their temperature taken before they enter into our facilities each morning, physical distancing measures, as I mentioned when we watched the tryout video. PPE, personal protective equipment, is given to each student, including face masks. I know that most people have their own at this point, but our facility does have those, as well as latex gloves available for everyone every day. There is hand sanitizer throughout our facilities, and we do a thorough sanitization of all equipment between uses. So we are trying to be mindful of everyone's health and safety. And your next steps. If you feel like this is a good fit for you and you want to move forward, you're going to need to fill out and turn in your completed enrollment form. So if you're wanting to sign up for our next class, you'll be contacted within 2 weeks of when you turn in your enrollment form to schedule the next steps, which would be a phone interview. And during that interview, you'll be given all of the information for tryouts, where to be, when, and what to bring with you. So you can find the enrollment form to download it right here. It's going to be on the same page where you found this pre-recording or where you register for one of our in-person info sessions. And this is a list of our upcoming classes. We have not yet determined the specific dates for our classes. This is to be determined. So keep checking back for updates. Once those dates are updated, it is going to be on the front page of our website. Until then, feel free to send me your enrollment forms. I will get you on our lists, and I will be reaching out to everybody on our enrollment list for our next cohorts once we have finalized the dates for the next 11-week classes. And please note that the dates are always going to be subject to change depending on what happens with social distancing measures. But as of right now, those dates are to be determined for our next cohort. And thank you for joining us today. Again, this just kind of goes over basic information. It's got the address to both of our locations, some of the things that you can bring with you on your to your assessment interview. But again, that information will be provided to you once we've determined our enrollment dates for our next class. And here in the bottom left corner is my contact information. My name is Simone. I am the outreach specialist here at ANEW. There's my phone number and my email. And you can send your enrollment form to info@anewaop.org or directly to me at simone@anewaop.org. Thank you for joining us, and we are looking forward to working with you. We hope to see you soon.